So in 8 months, you make $300,000.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Right. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We got another great show here for you today. We've gone through two of Alex Powell's recent purchases, and well, this one's almost done. It's a flip, but we're going to be talking about buying the cheapest houses in the city that you want to invest in. You bought this how long ago? So we're in Hamilton, Ontario. We're in a detached house, and you got it for how much? $150,000. When did you buy it?
I believe it was June. Yeah, I bought it in June.
June. So this is a COVID special. Tell us the story behind this house though, because this is an interesting story. This didn't look like this when you bought it.
No. So this was actually on CHCH News, and it was deemed the worst hoarder house in all of Hamilton. And it was from the news that we found where the property was, and we were actually able to locate it. And from there, we came here. We dropped off one of our business cards, and within like 10 minutes, I guess the owner had also seen his own property on the news, gave us a call. He was in the office in 10 minutes, and he actually called the price that he wanted. We gave it to him, and it was all done. And he not only gave us like a 10-minute review, like positive 5-star review on all our pages. This was such an amount, a huge amount of stress for him that was now relieved. So.
You watched the news. You saw that obviously this is a house that you could do something with, right? It's decent area. Did you personally come and drop off the card? What did that card say?
So the card was just a business card. So
okay.
It was a call. It was a guy on our team did it, and once he called, he handed the phone over to me, and I talked to him, got to know him a little bit, understood what his pain points were. Why is this house in this condition? And he's like, I just want to sell it. I want to be done with this house. I don't care what it takes, and I need to close as soon as possible. I said, okay, how soon can you be at our office? And he said, give me 7 minutes. And he drove over to our office. That was it.
All right. So, because I know the last house we went into, you got a great deal on that one as well. And I mean, a lot of people are saying they can't find houses in today's market. So yeah. I know you incentivize your team to go out here and do this, right? Like, so what's the goal? What's their personal goal?
At the end of the day, their personal goal is to, every week, they have to bring 5 really crummy looking properties. If you guys are watching this, then likely you're somewhat involved in the investor community. You know the term walking for dollars or driving for dollars. That's what it is.
Dialing for dollars?
Yeah, we're just scaling it up. So you walk down the street when you're walking your dog and you're going for a jog and you're riding your bike and you see a crappy home, 9 times out of 10 people will walk right by it and be like, oh, it's a crappy house. And they won't pay attention to it. Us as investors, we want to go and look for these houses so that we can either send them a direct mailer, reach out to them if they're in the phone book, try and get a hold of them in some way, shape, or form, and then connect with them. And you'd be surprised how effective it is. We've actually joint venture partnered with the owners of some of these properties that we have now found their crappy properties. And they, like, after talking to them on the phone, they're like, I don't know what to do, man. It's like the place is a piece of crap. It's like, okay, well, how do we create a win-win? What's the best thing for you? Can we help? And then we figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, so like you would, even then, like, I mean, that's getting a little complicated. Yeah. But you might partner with them on a property, like where you would flip it. Here's our price. Here's our renovation cost. And we'll kind of split the profit, or?
Yeah, stuff like that. So we'll agree up front on what a buy-in price is on an as-is value. And they can sell it to us, and let's say it's just a rental property that now the tenants have trashed, and they're like, oh, man, I don't know what to do with it. Contractors aren't getting back to me. We'll say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's buy in at this price. Now, anything above this, we share in that equity. Anything below that, that's your equity component. So there's all kinds of ways you can structure a really cool deal, and especially in this climate where realistically some random person can put a Home Depot in front of their yard, a Home Depot sign in front of their yard saying for sale, and it's going to go on multiple offers.
Right. And so obviously you're finding great deals in this environment. And I mean, I know that we walked through the last one, and then you have another one that you just bought as well. Another, like, even since we did that last video to here, because we had some technical difficulties, Mark forgot to turn on the microphone.
Not like deals are just flooding in. I find like I have a tremendous amount of gratitude and respect for when these deals do come, because they're unicorns. They're few and far between, but we're consistently finding them. For the average person who's just looking on the MLS, you're not going to find great deals. And when we look at cash flow towns and equity towns, Hamilton is now, the values are going up so quickly that it's hard to make the numbers work. So you either have to be creative, you have to go out there and put your elbows to the grindstone and hunt for your own properties. It's the only way you'll make it.
Well, that's it. So if you're watching this and you're just sitting back thinking stuff is going to come to you, it's not. You got to go out there and make it happen. If you want to go and create a business in investing, because that's what you've done, is you've created a business in investing where this is now your full-time job, is you got to go make that happen. You basically got to go and you got to, okay, here's the game plan. How many am I going to knock? I mean, I know investors who are sending out flyers now, right?
Yeah.
I know, they're papering everywhere. You're obviously more, I buy ugly houses. I mean,
we've done the flyers thing too. I think the market here in Hamilton is getting very saturated with them. But we also have connections with wholesalers, right? Everybody knows that there are wholesalers that do their thing full time. Like these are people that we can, connect with, network with, get to know, and then buy properties from as well. So there's all kinds of different, resources that are available to us. We just have to go out there and start looking for them.
And so bought this for 150. What are you in for rental?
150.
150. So let's call that 300. That's with carrying costs and everything, correct?
Yeah.
And so this house is going on the market next week?
Yeah, we're hoping to get staging done next week. Probably midweek, and then list probably on Thursday, hopefully.
And so what are you going to list for?
$599.
$599, and you're going to hold back, or is that so conceivably after commissions and whatever, you're going to make 275 to 300, and if it goes over asking, obviously you're going to make over $300,000 on this property. And so you bought it in June, you're listing it in December, it'll close in February.
Yeah.
So in 8 months, you make $300,000.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Right. And I mean, the other strategy could be, it's a single family home.
Yeah.
So, but you could cash flow this pretty easily.
Yeah, we could have duplexed it. This one worked out well in terms of timing because it helped kind of fund our bankroll a little bit, boost our accounts so that we can put more money into marketing dollars, put more money into different areas. So this kind of was a perfect timing of the property to make it happen. But fundamentally, I think a lot of people, going back to the point of hunting for properties and stuff like that, it's no different than on the real estate agent side. People have this idea that when they're real estate investors or agents, whatever, that they start day one and they're just crushing deals. And it's this super glamorous, yeah, I crush deals all the time. But they don't realize that behind the scenes, my ass is going numb because I'm sitting there and I'm calling people all day, or I'm, finding different ways to market, different ways to reach out to people, different ways to add value to sellers, home buyers. And that's the reality of the job. And another thing that we hear all the time is, this whole idea of this person should have gotten fair market value for their house. If you would have seen this property, everybody I talked to was like, that house is a teardown. And then how do you come up with a figure? How do you figure that out? You have to be creative. And the reality of it is, if you ever talk to the seller of this house, he rants and raves about how good we were to him, how much we helped him out. We helped him with every part of it from start to finish. That is the value that you add to people.
When you were cleaning this up, and how many bins did you take out of here? Just of not construction stuff, but just of waste.
It was 28 bins, over $20,000 in cost, just garbage. That's not demo, that's not flooring, that's none of that. And 120 kilos of that was human feces.
Well, what did you find when you were cleaning it up?
Yeah, so the one thing he asked us if we could, during the demo process, his daughter, who back in Eastern Europe, had knitted him a blanket. So through all the mounds of garbage that was up to the ceiling, our guys actually found the blanket for his daughter. We also found his passport and his birth certificate that was buried in the bottom of something. I don't even know how we found it, but once again, this guy's so grateful now that we managed to be able to help him out. So it all worked out well. So.
Yeah, I think the moral of this story is, if you go that extra level, if you how many people watched that news story and said, wow, I could do something with that house, but never did anything. Yet one of your guys, I don't know if you had prompted him or he did it by himself, just said, hey, that's something we'd like to buy, and drop the card off.
He sent us the news article and we're like, dude, if you're swinging by there, drop the card off.
Right.
And there was a call right there, handed me the phone, and I was like, hey, how can we help you?
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, how many people saw that and took no action? They're just like, well, maybe it'll come up on the market and I'll get an opportunity then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, how do I create that opportunity for myself? So I'm the only one on it. I'm not bidding against 20 other people for that same property.
I think in this climate, when you're talking about real estate investing, there's always the two sides of the equation. One is finding money, and the other is finding the deal. You realize as you start to grow in the business, find the money becomes so easy.
If you find the great
If
deals.
you find the great deal.
And you have the vision to be able to say, hey, this is exactly what we're doing with it. Here's plan A, we're going to flip it. Plan B is we can rent it out as a single family and cash flow it.
Yeah.
Plan C is, I don't know, rent to own or whatever,
you're
right?
Like stressed, you're like, oh, I need the money before I start the deal because I don't know how it's going to work. No, get the deal, make sure it's a great deal, call me, and I'll buy it and give you a wholesale fee, and it'll cost you next to nothing. No fees out of your pocket.
Well, and I tell people this all the time when they have no money about getting started is great. Go find great deals. And guys like me, guys like Alex will pay you for those deals so you can earn income. You can start analyzing deals. You can start talking to sellers. You can get all those skills you need. And then you have a deal that you can show a potential investor. You can say, hey, this is the deal I got last June. Here's what it is. Here's the rental cost. Maybe you're not as cheap. You can get it as cheap as Alex. So maybe you say 200, but here's the profit that we could have had on that property and gone from there, right? So, it's just getting in the game and making those offers. I know Matt McKeever talks about this all the time, right? He's just deals, offers. What are you doing to make it happen, right? Get out there, feet on the street, dial for dollars, whatever you call it, start doing it, guys. Start taking action. All right, so obviously you can see big, beautiful house, high ceilings. It's super cool. Like you got 10-foot ceilings here. Obviously, these are drop ceilings.
Yeah.
On the main floor, so you can get some good height there. Like like for you could put a basketball net up and you could jam.
Yeah, sometimes I graze my head on the ceiling, but it's just my natural height. But you could obviously tell that they don't make them like they used to. Like this property is just large in scale.
Obviously, you're going to put new windows everywhere.
No, actually.
I can see you got vinyl, but
yeah.
So okay. Separate heating each unit, or
yeah, separate heating each unit. So one thing to note, guys, is that when you do a duplex, it goes under the building department. But when you do a triplex, it's considered a building. I don't know what the designation is exactly, but it actually goes through the engineering department. So there's a couple of extra rules that you have to go through. One of them being is that in a duplex conversion, it's quite simple. You can share the furnace across 2 units. But when you do a triplex, you can still only share a furnace across 2 units. So it doesn't matter what it might be, you have to share. You have to add an additional heat source. In this particular,
that's in Hamilton.
Yeah, maybe
because I think Ontario Building Code says that it can only go up to 2 floors, and the 3rd floor has to have a separate heating source. So if you had a 3rd floor one,
yeah.
So
okay. So that we have to obviously accommodate. However, it actually at this point we're going to segregate all the heating, so that every tenant is responsible for their own utilities completely.
So gas, hydro, are you going to do water?
No.
No water.
Water's on one, unfortunately.
All right.
So this is actually going to be the exit here, and we're going to actually build a nice little deck out here that's going to have a walkout that goes down the stairs. It's going to be really cool.
There are your floor to ceiling windows.
So this is the configuration here that's going to kind of open up. So this was weird, I guess. Back in the olden days, they used to have like a powder room closet, and then they had a tub room. So here is where there was a toilet and a sink, and here's where the bathtub was, which is funny. I don't know. I know a lot of maybe older folks might be like, "Oh yeah, that's what it used to be back in the."
So you're going to run the bathroom here, and then this is going to open up here?
No, we're actually going to run the bathroom here.
Okay.
We're going to open this right up.
You're going to open this up too?
This is actually going to be divided in half. So right here is going to be laundry facing out this way.
Yeah.
From the back, there's a closet. Into that
Okay.
bedroom.
And then there's going to be a pantry. Okay.
For this floor.
Cool.
They had originally built, if you look at the 2x4 around the perimeter,
Yeah.
that's where they had originally built the ceiling.
Wow.
And then we took it down, and there was another ceiling on top, and then we took that down. We're like, holy crap, we could vault this thing up.
It would be beautiful vaulted.
Oh, I know. So once again, here you can tell higher ceilings. Here we're about, I'd say maybe 8 feet. But still is pretty good. When we go up to 9 feet here, I don't know if it goes up a little bit. But the orientation here is, once again, we're going to pop a hole in here. This is where the new door is going to be coming in. The ductwork is all going to be demoed anyway. And then this room that we just came in from, this is going to turn into the bedroom. And across here, one thing that we've experienced in a lot of our rentals is noise complaints, obviously, especially when there's a common hallway. So right here, we're putting the furnace room, which is going to have double layer drywall, all that kind of stuff, plus the Roxol insulation. And across here, we're going to put a big wall to ceiling, or floor to ceiling closets. So that's just going to buffer the sound from the common area.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it's going to be sweet. And then right over here used to be the bathroom. It's going to stay consistent with where it is. This is the kitchen location here. Sorry, I'm going a little quick. And we did get some exposed bricks, so I think I'd like to see if we could keep that somehow.
Tons of ceiling height in here too. And this is your second bedroom?
This is the second bedroom.
And no roaches. All right, guys, so we have great shows coming up for you next week. I'm going to talk about how much money I've made in YouTube in my first 30 days on the job. We have a bunch of guests coming in, so it's going to be a great week. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.